Defending champion dethroned a 51 deficit, erased Eala, has produced one of the most remarkable comebacks of the 2026 Mubadala DC Open, moving one step closer to the tournament's $164 million prize purse. Just when it looked like her incredible run was about to end, the Filipina sensation flipped the match on its head against reigning champion Leylah Fernandez. Trailing 15 in the second set, Eala seemed destined for a deciding third set. Instead, she stunned everyone inside the stadium by winning 6 consecutive games, then dominated the tiebreak with fearless shot-making to send the defending champion home after consecutive victories over Olympic gold medalist Qinwen Zheng and Grand Slam finalist Leylah Fernandez. Eala is proving that she belongs among the very best on the WTA Tour. The question now is no longer whether she can compete with the elite-eights, how far this extraordinary run can take her on July 29, 2026. Under the bright lights of Rock Creek Park in Washington, D.C., another memorable chapter of Eala's career was about to be written. This wasn't simply another second-round match. It was an opportunity to rewrite history. Only 3 months earlier, the Stuttgart Open, Leylah Fernandez had defeated Eala in convincing fashion 61-64. That loss exposed weaknesses in Eala's game as Fernandez controlled the rallies with her movement variety and tactical brilliance. Eala left Stuttgart disappointed, but determined, knowing the defeat would become a valuable lesson rather than a lasting scar. Now the two left-handers were meeting again, but under very different circumstances. The stage was the Mubadala DC Open, a prestigious WTA 500 tournament at the William H.G. Fitzgerald Tennis Center, featuring a $164 million prize purse. Eala entered the tournament, ranked world No. 28, after making history. Wimbledon, where she became the first Filipino singles player in the Open era to reach the 4th round of the championships. Across the net stood world No. 34 Leylah Fernandez, the defending DC Open champion, looking to begin another title defense. The stakes were enormous. Eala had already survived one dramatic battle in the opening round, recovering from a set down to defeat Olympic champion Qinwen Zheng 46-64-61. The victory lasted 2 hours and 26 minutes and demanded every ounce of her physical and mental strength. There was barely any time to recover. Waiting for her in the second round was the very player who had comfortably beaten her just months before. After defeating Zheng, Eala admitted she expected another difficult challenge. "I think it's going to be a very tough match for me. Leylah is such an amazing player and an amazing person as well. Right now my priority is simply to recover, take care of my body, and be in the best condition possible." Her caution was understandable. Fernandez had reached the matchup in impressive fashion after defeating Magdalena Frech 61-64 earlier in the season. She had spoken highly of Eala, calling her a talented young player who was accomplishing incredible things on tour, but admiration disappears once the first ball is struck. As the players walked onto the court, the atmosphere was electric. Philippine flags filled the stands, and chants of Eala, Eala echoed throughout the stadium. Two proud competitors with Filipino heritage were preparing for another memorable battle. The opening set belonged almost entirely to Eala. She dictated play from the baseline, struck the ball with confidence, and moved effortlessly around the court. Fernandez struggled to find answers as Eala claimed the first set 62 in only 34 minutes. Everything appeared to be going according to plan. Then the momentum shifted dramatically. Fernandez elevated her level in the second set using her trademark variety, aggressive returns, and relentless court coverage to take complete control. She reeled off 5 consecutive games and built what looked like an insurmountable 51 advantage. The crowd grew quiet. Memories of Stuttgart began to resurface with the possibility of a deciding set looming. And after already spending more than 2 hours on court against Qinwen Zheng the previous day, it would have been understandable if fatigue finally caught up with Eala. Instead, she responded exactly as champions do. She refused to surrender. Throughout her young career, Eala has developed a reputation for fighting through impossible situations. She had already shown that resilience by surviving match points at Wimbledon, battling back from difficult positions in Berlin, and recovering from a set deficit against Zheng just one day earlier. This time would be no different. Point by point, game by game, she began to chip away at Fernandez's lead. Her confidence returned, her timing improved, her aggressive forehand found the lines once again. The pressure shifted completely. After the match, Eala reflected on the emotional turning point. "I definitely had some tough moments in that match, and credit to Leylah, because she put me in some really difficult situations. I am proud of how I kept fighting and stayed mentally strong." She explained that patience became the deciding factor. I knew she was playing better, and I felt my own level had dropped. Those moments are difficult because you want to improve immediately, but sometimes nothing seems to work. I just stayed patient, trusted the process, and kept searching for solutions. Her determination paid off. From trailing 15, Eala stormed back by winning 5 straight games to move ahead 65. The stadium erupted. Philippine flags waved wildly as fans sensed history unfolding before their eyes. Fernandez managed to hold serve one final time, forcing a tiebreak. But the momentum now belonged entirely to Eala. She raced ahead 51, taking advantage of several costly errors before finishing the contest with 2 stunning forehand winners. Tiebreak score 71, final score 62-76, match time 1 hour and 53 minutes. The comeback was complete. The defending champion had been eliminated afterward. Eala once again praised her opponent while expressing pride in her own resilience. I had some really difficult moments out there, but I'm proud of the way I stayed in the fight. Her coaching team erupted in celebration. Joan from the Rafa Nadal Academy, along with the rest of Team Eala, shared the emotional moment from courtside. During her on-court interview, Eala thanked everyone who had supported her throughout the tournament and even gave a special birthday shout-out to team member Sandro. The victory was far more than another win. It was proof that Eala has learned from every setback, grown from every defeat, and developed into one of the toughest competitors on the WTA Tour. When the pressure reached its highest point and the scoreboard read 15, she didn't panic. She believed, and that belief delivered one of the greatest comebacks of the 2026 DC Open. The comeback was complete. The defending champion had been dethroned, but the numbers behind Eala's victory made the performance even more impressive. They showed exactly why she is no longer viewed as a rising prospect. Our genuine contender on the WTA Tour. The match lasted 1 hour and 53 minutes, a demanding battle that pushed both players to their limits. What made Eala's performance even more remarkable was the fact that less than 24 hours earlier, she had spent 2 hours and 26 minutes on court battling Olympic champion Qinwen Zheng. Most players would have shown signs of fatigue. Instead, Eala looked stronger. When the pressure was at its highest, she controlled the opening set from start to finish, winning it 62 in just 34 minutes. Her ground strokes were clean, her movement was sharp, and she consistently dictated the pace of the rallies. One statistic highlighted her dominance more than any other. Eala committed only 4 unforced errors in the first set, while Fernandez made 14. That wasn't simply efficient tennis, it was complete control. The second set, however, told a very different story. Fernandez raised her level dramatically, mixing pace, angles, and aggressive court positioning. She rattled off 5 consecutive games to build what looked like a comfortable 51 lead. For a moment, it felt as though history was repeating itself. The meeting in Stuttgart, where Fernandez had won comfortably, flashed back into everyone's mind. But this version of Eala was different. She stayed calm. She trusted her game. Most importantly, she refused to panic. Game by game, she began climbing back into the contest, eventually winning 6 of the next 7 games to erase the massive deficit. The set reached a tiebreak, but by then the momentum had completely shifted. Reflecting on that stretch after the match, Eala admitted she knew her level had dipped. I knew she was playing better, and maybe my level had dropped a little. Those are difficult moments, because you know you can play better, but things just aren't working. The key was staying patient and continuing to search for solutions. That mindset carried her through the biggest moments. In the tiebreak, Eala was fearless. She raced to 51 advantage before finishing the match with 2 brilliant forehand winners. Tiebreak score 71, final score 62-76. The defending champion's title defense was over. The victory also came with significant rewards. By reaching the quarterfinals, Eala earned $47,750 in prize money. Another victory would add $43,150, increasing her total tournament earnings to $90,900. Her opening round comeback against Qinwen Zheng had already secured valuable prize money and ranking points. Now, with another major victory over former Grand Slam finalist, she strengthened her position even further in the WTA rankings. The result brought her closer to the world's top 25, and with a deep run in Washington, a top 20 debut suddenly looked like a realistic possibility. But statistics alone don't explain what happened that night. The scoreboard showed a comeback. The fans celebrated another unforgettable victory, yet it was Eala's words after the match that revealed the real reason behind her success. It wasn't simply about shot selection or tactics, it was about mindset. Speaking after the match, Eala acknowledged that the windy conditions made things difficult for both players, but she refused to use them as an excuse. The wind was definitely a factor, but it's something neither of us could control. She said, Leylah put me in some really difficult situations, and she deserves credit. That response perfectly captured her mentality. Rather than blaming the conditions, she respected her opponent and focused on finding solutions. I knew she was playing better, and I felt my own level had dropped. Those are the hardest moments, because you want things to click immediately, but sometimes they don't. Patience was the key. I just kept trying to figure things out. That patience has become one of Eala's greatest strengths. She has already survived match points at Wimbledon. She has battled back from difficult positions throughout the season. She had just overcome a set deficit against Qinwen Zheng 1 day earlier. Each challenge strengthened her belief that no match is over until the final point is played. I am really proud of how I fought and stayed mentally strong, she said afterward. The celebration with her coaching team made the victory even more meaningful. Eala thanked Joan Bosch from the Rafa Nadal Academy, along with the rest of her support team, for believing in her throughout the journey. Joan is someone I trust completely, she said. Having him and the rest of my team behind me makes me feel like I'm never alone out there. That support has become one of the foundations of her success. Earlier in the tournament, Eala also reflected on the importance of representing the Philippines on the world stage. I think representation is incredibly powerful, she explained. When someone sees themselves in you, it inspires them to believe they can do it too. That message was impossible to miss in Washington. Philippine flags filled the stands. Fans cheered. Every point, every victory felt larger than tennis itself. Eala wasn't just playing for another tournament title. She was inspiring an entire nation. I'm very grateful for everyone who comes out to support me, she said. It's an honor to represent my country every time I step on court. Those words summed up her journey perfectly. Every victory belongs not only to her, but also to the millions of Filipinos cheering from around the world. Now, new challenge awaits. Standing between Eala and a place in the semifinals is either world no. 10 Elina Svitolina or Uzbekistan's qualifier Polina Kudermetova. Both present completely different tests. Svitolina is one of the most experienced players on tour, known for her consistency, defensive skills, and ability to capitalize on even the smallest mistakes. Although Eala has defeated her before, every match begins with a clean slate. Kudermetova offers a different challenge. The two have met previously during Eala's ITF days, with the Uzbek player winning both encounters. However, Eala has grown tremendously since then, and this stage of the WTA Tour is a completely different environment. After defeating Fernandez, Eala summed up her performance with a simple message: I am proud of how I fought and stayed in the match. That fighting spirit will once again be tested. In the quarterfinals, another victory would bring more prize money, valuable ranking points, and a possible breakthrough into the world's top 20. But for Eala, the biggest prize has never been money or rankings. It has always been the opportunity to inspire others. As she said earlier in the tournament, representation is powerful. When people see themselves in you, it gives them hope. Now the quarterfinals await. The tennis world will be watching. One incredible comeback has already captured everyone's attention. The next chapter could be even bigger. Eala has already proven she belongs among the world's best. Now she's chasing something even greater, and judging by the way she continues to fight, this remarkable journey is only just beginning.